Hello, today we will be making sesame chicken. Found this recipe online. I like it pretty much. So let's just get right into it. Of course, you'll need your chicken, and I'm going to maneuver the recipe where it's one serving. So this is one chicken strip that I will be cutting into pieces, thawing out, sitting in salt water. You'll need cornstarch to make a slurry. You need honey, sesame seeds, vinegar, ketchup, soy sauce, optional, crushed red pepper flakes, salt, garlic powder, brown sugar, white sugar, which I'm using Splenda, an alternative, and of course rice or noodles. Oh, and yeah, your green onions, and that's optional too. First, you want to let your skillet hot, not too hot, but hot. While the skillet is getting hot, cut up your chicken strip. You can use breast, but I just chose the strip since I'm making it just enough for me, a single serving. And I hope I'm in frame so you can see how I'm cutting it. And you can make these big pieces, big chunks, little chunks. Depends on who's eating it. That one strip made 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces, 8 chunks. Okay, now I'm going to test and see if my skillet's hot. It is. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump the chicken in. Chicken pieces, and if you have a smaller skillet that cooks real good for you, then of course you can use a smaller one when you're doing a single serving. I'm trying to let it cool off just a little bit because it was kind of too hot. I want it to cool off just a little bit before I put it back on, so it doesn't start burning before it can cook. And I like to use instant rice, so that was me putting that bowl of water, 3/4 cup of water in the microwave to boil the water. Once that water is boiled, I'll pour the cup of rice in, which that was 3/4 cup of rice as well. I forgot to mention that in the intro, that's free. But that's 3/4 cup water with 3/4 cup of rice. That's how I make my instant rice. Okay, we're going to prepare the sauce. So, like I said, I was going to half of the ingredients. So, we're going to do the honey last because honey seems to have a hard time getting out. Matter of fact, I'm going to just spray that and see if that helps. So, I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of honey. And guys, make sure you keep your eye on your chicken over there. Sometimes I like to go ahead and get the sauce together first. That way I can focus more on the chicken instead of trying to focus on both. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Now you can use, let's say 3 tablespoons of sugar, but I'm using 4 packs of the Splenda, the alternative. Okay, and then you want 1 tablespoon of your brown sugar. And I'm just going to pour in and do it by eye, and it would be a packed tablespoon. And 1 tablespoon of vinegar, white vinegar. And you want 1½ tablespoons of your soy sauce. That was probably 1 3/4, but that's okay. You want 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you want 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Stir this up. Stir it up really good. And we'll come back to that. Just leave that there. We'll come back to that. We're going to go back over to the meat. Okay, the meat is practically done. And if you want it browned more, but it's practically done. I'm going to go ahead and turn my stove off. I'm going to turn the other one for the sauce. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on so it can start heating up. And you can put your chicken to the side. This is how I do my instant rice when I'm making a single serving. Boil the water, get it hot. That's 3/4 cup of hot water, 3/4 cup of the rice. Make sure every granule is, or every grain, sorry, is wet. Now you could choose, if you're eating out that bowl, if the bowl you use is microwavable and you're going to also eat out that bowl, you can just cover that bowl and then put your meat and sauce and all that on top. However, I'm going to eat out of this bowl, but to save on dishes, I'm just going to use this bowl and let that sit until it's absorbed all the water and it's done. Okay, so now we're going to use 1 tablespoon. We're going to make the slurry for the sauce before we put it on the stove. As you want this to be ready in a separate bowl. So you want 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And for those who don't know what I'm about to do, this is called a slurry. This thickens your sauce. And then you want 1 tablespoon of water, cold water. You just want to stir that up. And it should be this consistency, not all thick and creamy and gooey. It needs to almost be like it's watery, but a thick watery consistency. Okay, you set that aside. And now we're going to put our sauce on the stove on low medium heat. When it starts to boil, okay. Got mine boiling enough. Took about 2 to 3 minutes. That's how I like to see mine boiling, like it's simmering. But sorry, not simmering, like it's boiling. And then I just pour in the slurry, which will lighten it up, but also thicken it up. Well, I'm back and I don't know if you guys seen that layout like that. Sometimes you get those cornstarch chunks and you can just mash them to blend them in. If you don't get very many, just mash them. Take a moment to mash them because you don't want to get rid of all your sauce over it when you can mash it. So that's a little tidbit. So every time you make it, won't be perfect. Because I made this the other day, this sauce for something else, and it didn't chunk up on me like that. So it's ready. As you guys can see, you don't see all those big old white chunks. You can turn the heat down. I found one. You can turn the heat down, the fire down, and let it simmer, or remove it from the heat. Initially, I remove it from the heat because the fire is still kind of hot. Kind of anal and making sure that the big lumps are out. Checking on my rice. Okay, we're going to check and see if the instant rice is done. Yes, it is. See how it's fluffed up all nice and perky? And you can always just test it to make sure that the top ones are done. Works every time. I will be back once it's Sesame Chicken plated up. Thanks for watching.